Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Sea Power. So I'm doing a built-in scenario. This is Charlie's. So we have a task force here with a Belknap class cruiser, William H. Stanley, the Gearing class destroyer, Henry W. Tucker, and the Oliver Hazard Perry class frigate, the Stosen. So apparently there are some Charlie class submarines headed for us. Those are cruise missile submarines. I'm not sure if they're Charlie 1s or 2s. They are slightly different. The Charlie 2s, as I recall from my reading, they have like this 25-foot portion stuck in front of the sail, which includes like more electronics and systems and things like that. So they have some more capabilities than the Charlie 1s. But, whoa, they almost had a collision there. Sheesh. Stosen, what are you doing? And she's, yeah, got her towed array out there, yeah. Hopefully that doesn't get caught in the screw of that freighter. Rules of the road, people. Might want to consult that. Another surface action one, but this time involving anti-submarine warfare. I have no idea where these Charlies are. It says they're moving towards us, though. But I'm going to pull up the flight deck here. We got 2 helicopters, 2 helos there on Stosen. So we're going to launch those, and I think the William H. Stanley here has 1 helo.
Turn 272. Turn to course 269. How am I?
And as always, of course, folks, at this point in time, the game is still very much a early access work in progress, so a lot of stuff is subject to change, and I myself am kind of getting used to some of the controls. So I apologize for any clunky gameplay that I may be demonstrating here, but as if that's anything new. I mean, heck, I'm about as good as a deaf sonar man and Ray Charles with a periscope or something. Alright, that helo on William Stanley is spooling up there. There it is on the flight deck there. As I recall, the Charlies can actually fire their cruise missiles while submerged. So we're not going to be using the harpoons here in this mission, I take it. Funny enough, a lot of people this day and age, you associate the harpoon as an anti-ship missile, but wow, that helo just clipped through the masts of the Stanley there. But funny enough, the harpoon was originally designed actually to sink surface missile submarines, because back in the day when it was developed, submarines could not launch their missiles while submerged. They had to come to the surface and do it, which left them vulnerable to attack. So harpoons were originally designed to attack them. So that's why they skim low over the water. They're designed to look for stuff right on the surface. So they were originally designed to sink surface missile-carrying submarines.
We'll go.
Now, I have no idea where these Charlies are. But we got 3 helos here. I'm going to send one of them slightly north, another one south.
New submerged submarine.
Okay, never mind. We just found one of them. Well, so much for setting that sonobuoy pattern.
Contact faded. Track.
He could be anywhere within that kind of yellow ellipse, so I'm just going to lay some sonobuoys right there in front of him. Presumably, he's moving towards us. I'm going to try and localize him further, and then we'll drop a torpedo on him. How's that sound, huh? Got another helo coming off of the Estosin there. I'm sending one down south. See if we can find another submarine there. Come on, take off. Get those blades a-turning. There we go. Alright, and you, good sir, you head north. I'm not sure exactly how many submarines there are. There might be 2 or more. Or it says there's Charlies, so I assume there's more than one. Now bear in mind, I don't know a whole lot about anti-submarine warfare, just enough to be dangerous. We got sonobuoys, we got sonars, but as they say, anti-submarine warfare, or ASW, actually stands for awfully slow warfare. And put another way, anti-submarine warfare is, quote, a science of vague assumptions based upon debatable figures taken from inconclusive experiments performed with instruments of problematical accuracy by persons of doubtful reliability and questionable mentality. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. So, yep, it's all vague, just wild-ass guesses. I'm sure a sonar man, a sonar technician will tell you differently, though. Whether it be a STS or STG. Sonar technicians on surface ships and sonar technicians on submarines. STG is surface ships, STS is submarines. But we do have pretty calm seas right now, so we should have pretty good sonar conditions anyway. The active sonar on surface ships actually has a lesser range than passive sonar does anyway, so there's no real reason for us to start banging away with active sonar. Yeah, they're banging away with active sonar, but no one's listening. They're moving close to 30 knots. At that speed, they can run over my daughter's stereo and not hear it. Okay, well, we narrowed this contact down to something. Get that helo low, see if he'll stream the his mad array behind him. Oh, there goes a sonar buoy. I think the United States, or NATO, in this game has only passive sonar buoys. There are so many platforms and so many, you know, weapons and sensors in games like these that it's so hard to keep track of them so much, you know. And this is just sea power, right? I've compared this game somewhat to Command Modern Operations previously, you know. But in reality, it has more in common with, like, Jane's Fleet Command. But, you know, if you just play it from, like, the map screen, then this game looks suspiciously like Command. But, again, let me put it this way, you know, people have called me out saying, like, did you really just compare this game to SEMO? Bro, it's not even close. Well, let me put it this way. This game is closer to SEMO than it is to, like, DCS, okay? Or Steel Beasts or, you know, Gunner PC or whatever, you know? This is not a tactical simulator to the extent that those games are. So, in that respect, this game is closer to Command than it is to those other tactical sims. Let me put it that way. But yes, I mean, no, this game cannot in any way compare to how much of a simulator, of an operations simulator Command Modern Operations is. Plus, not to mention that Command spans all the way from like 1950 into the future. So this game really only covers like, technically it ends in like 1985, and it covers roughly the 1960s, but more or less there's some stuff in here that was from the 60s, but a lot of it is from like the 70s and up to 85, thereabouts. And by and large, most of it in this game is United States and Soviet Union, USSR, Warsaw Pact, with a smattering of other countries. If you look at Command, there's darn near, not quite, but darn near everything ever made, you know, from the 1950s onward, from every nation out there, pretty much, with some exceptions, and even hypothetical things. So this game has like a couple of hypothetical units, sea power, like one of them is the Orel class quote-unquote aircraft carrier, which is not really, which is technically it was an aircraft carrying missile cruisers, but man, let's semantics, right? So yes, Command is far broader in scope, in range, and in what it is designed to do as an operations simulator than this game is. So Command is more of a straight-up hardcore war game. This is more of a fun computer game that happens to be an operations simulator. Anyway, so enough about that. We're going to prosecute this contact, drop the Mark 46 on it. I think we've nailed it down. He's throwing out noisemakers behind him.
Multiple hostile submerged submarine. Contacts detected.
Now, indeed, you can consult the game's encyclopedia and pull up like the information cards for the units and the weapons, you know, in game as I'm playing it. But I just choose not to do it. Really, though, I mean, approaching this, you know, basically as kind of this nerdy academic and a historian, you know, your best bet, people, is just get books and read. All right, we hit it. So there are a lot of books out there that have been written on these platforms and weapons, their design, their function, and all that. I recommend just about anything from Norman Friedman as well as Norman Polmar. One of the best books I've ever read on American and Soviet submarines is Cold War Submarines by Norman Polmar and K.J. Moore. It's an extremely good comparison of submarines between those two countries in the Cold War. And of course, like Norman Friedman, he's got a really good book called U.S. Naval Weapons, where he discusses the development of naval weapons like anti-air weapons, missiles, guns, mines, torpedoes, just about every single naval weapon from like the 1880s to, well, then the present, which was like 1980 something. That's another really good book. And of course, Norman Friedman has his whole design series on the various classes of ships in the U.S. Navy, right? From destroyers to small combatants to submarines before 1945, submarines after 1945, battleships, cruisers, aircraft carriers, this, that, and the other. So yeah, it's an entire series. I almost have the whole series myself. I have a couple more books that I would need to get, but anyway, Norman Polmar and Norman Friedman are probably some of the best naval theorists out there, and they published a ton of books. They are all extremely well cited. They are very detailed, often fairly technical in their writing. You don't need to like be an engineer to understand them, but having an understanding of naval warfare and technology certainly helps. Even some of it just flies right over my head. I'm like, duh, I don't know, I don't get it. Too many big words in there for me, so. But yeah, it's hard to go wrong with Polmar or Friedman. Now, so these are Charlie 2 class. They've got the SSN-9 Siren. It's got a maximum range of 59 nautical miles. Okay, standoff anti-ship, faster, longer range than the Styx. Can perform evasive maneuvers in its terminal phase. Uh-oh, we got wake-homing torpedoes. 10.3 nautical mile range. That will be a problem, the 56-65Ks, or 53-65Ks. Let's see, improved quieting from its predecessors. It's lengthened to accommodate the more capable Siren missiles. Okay, so these are definitely Charlie 2 class submarines. But that being said, I will always advocate for reading. Because, let's be honest, I mean, kids these days, let me put it this way, kids these days, because I used to be a teacher, kids don't read. And a lot of people don't read at that. Anyway, so read, people. Read books. Find good books out there and read them. If you can't take the time to read something, you know, that's not like the menu at McDonald's, then, you know, what good are you, to be honest? Reading is one of the most powerful and simplest skills you will ever possess, and the more you do it, the better you'll be at it, and the more you'll learn. Anyway, that's my rant as a former English teacher. But yeah, find good books and read them. Now, that being said, what's in those books, you know, even very authoritative sources, may not necessarily hold true for this game. There are bound to be some differences. And again, just to reiterate, you know, Peter Perla, with a video game or any kind of computer software, we're only really looking at the limitations of the computer programming, what is designed into the computer. In effect, we have to kind of take into account that fact, right? At the end of the day, this thing's not a crystal ball. It's a simulation, a facsimile of reality. It is not necessarily always indicative of reality. So don't confuse the other, one with the other, if you know what I mean. Just because it says it's going to happen in reality, or just because we have historical examples of this, that, and the other happening, and just because all the books that we've read that are excellently written and well-sourced and cited and blah, 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 they say this, that, and the other, doesn't mean that this game will necessarily model it. I've already showed that with a lot of the AI with like the aircraft. It's not terribly intelligent. Well, I suspect it's going to need at least 2 to really sink these Charlies here. Here we go. We got another one coming in. Boom. Yeah, shoot all the noisemakers you want. You're not getting away. I'd say she's sinking. Cease fire. Have you lay a pattern of sonar buoys up there. We've got kind of a gap there. Is it sinking? Maybe. It's got 2 gaping big holes in it. Either they're gonna blow ballast and come to the surface, or they're going down. One or the other. Its screws aren't even turning there. Let's send this guy back over here. Put the MAD detector out behind him, which is a redundancy, the magnetic anomaly detector. Hey, I mean, I spent years working in the Department of Redundancy department, so I know all about that. Very well trained in tactical naval tactics, and you know, I've used weapons that are fully semi-automatic and all that. Redundancies, contradictions. Don't worry.
Buoy away!
I am really highly, well, extremely goody trained. Like to the bestest. Anyway.
Buoy away!
You go lay that pattern there, which is right in front of the task force, so.
Buoy away! New
Ooh,
submarine.
and there, wow. Okay, we already found it then. Well, there's another contact, so.
Roger. Turn 182.
You head down there as well, please.
Roger that.
Let's drop some sonar buoys around it. I can't remember. I think someone has figured out the range of these passive sonar buoys. It's like 5 nautical miles or thereabouts.
Buoy away!
Currently, as of late December 2024, I think the range on these sonar buoys is about 5 nautical miles or something like that. Someone has figured it out. I mean, it only seems like I know what I'm doing when I play this game. I mean, don't confuse this for actual intelligence. Well, there's at least 2 submarines here. One of them was hostile. I presume this other one is as well. But who knows, there might be another submarine out there. But I want to get rid of this one before they get close enough to shoot those waycoming torpedoes at us. I think the Charlies are nuclear powered. I'm pretty sure they're all out of service now. I think they were taken out of service in the 90s. And if memory serves me correctly, I think India was least one of them in like the 80s or thereabouts, the late 80s maybe, so probably beyond the scope of this game. But at one point, I'm pretty sure India had at least one Charlie.
Buoy away!
Let's drop a little triangle of buoys around them.
Buoy away!
Definitely classified them as hostile. They're making very hostile noises, I tell you. Well, actually, in reality, we can identify individual submarines based on the noise they make, right? The sound of their screw, the sound of their nuclear plant or their propulsion plant, various other noises. We've got a big old library and database of whale farts and
Salvo fire!
ship and submarine noises, so we can actually narrow it down if we're good enough to what exactly this vessel is. So
Whip it away! Roger, RTB.
all right, torpedoes away. Let's drop another one that way. It's headed that way anyway, so we'll put a sonar buoy right in front of it, and the torpedoes give chase. I just thought kind of amusing, since I work on a submarine, when people see the torpedoes on it, they say like, oh my god, they're so big, you know. Well, I'm not sure what you were thinking, you know. Did you think torpedoes were small or something? Or of course they could be thinking of like surface launch or airdrop torpedoes like these, like the Mark 46s in this game, which are like 8 feet long thereabouts. So yes, I mean, comparatively, you know, if we're talking like a 8-foot long airdrop torpedo like this one, then yeah, a submarine torpedo is huge, right? Like 19 feet thereabouts, give or take, and much, much heavier and more powerful, and longer ranged, for that matter. All right, we got it. Boom, twice, 2 hits.
Buoy away.
Well, it takes about 2 hits to sink it, so do we need to put another one in it? We'll drop some more sonar buoys here. Short transients, close aboard. Water entry of small objects. Sonar buoys. Battle stations.
Buoy away.
You're almost out of sonar buoys there, buddy. You can RTB. You still have torpedoes. Okay, what's the story with this Charlie here? It's not moving.
Roger, go to altitude 20.
Let's just fly over it. We know exactly where it is. Oh, she's coming up, okay. Hey, we did it. Mission complete. Okay. Yes, there's the life rafts. All right. We have sunk both of them. Okay, I guess there are only 2.
Staging track 7016.
All right, well, we got K503 and 479, both Charlie 2s. I'll see you folks later.